Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have game number 2 between TSLHyuN and AcerBly. I'm going to go ahead and give these players a proper introduction, but I will say that this is game number 2 in a best of 3 series, so if you haven't watched game number 1, go watch it! 3, 2, 1, okay, let's go ahead and introduce these players and reveal the current score. Up here in the top left-hand corner of Bel-Sher Beach, the winter edition, we can see, obviously, the nice little snow over here. We have the blue Zerg player, the Korean, and he is currently up 1-0 in this best of 3 series. Can he win this game and take the series, basically, away from AcerBly's grasp? We have his name, TSLHyuN, and his opponent spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Bel-Sher Beach as the orange Zerg, currently down 0-1, but he is a suave Ukrainian Zerg player. He might be able to make a comeback into this best of 3 series. He has to win 2 games in a row. Can he do it? Representing Team Acer, his name is AcerBly. Now, as I said before, AcerBly down 1 game and definitely going to be a bit of a fan favorite against the TSL Korean Hyun. So we're going to have to wait and see whether or not Bly can make a comeback. In the last game, he actually ended up going for that 10 pool on GSL Daybreak. But now that he is on GSL Bel-Sher Beach, it looks like he's going to be opting to go ahead and throw down that hatchery first. And as does his opponent, this map is huge, just ginormous. So the attack distance for throwing down one of those very early spawning pools can be a little bit difficult to deal with, just because, you know, your units have to travel such a long distance that your opponent has a lot of time to get up that spawning pool, to get up a good reaction. And it looks like both these players are going to feel pretty much the same way and go ahead and throwing down that hatchery first. So we might be seeing a bit more of an economic game than the last game. The last game pretty much just lasting around 11 minutes or so. But for now, it looks like both these players going ahead and going for pretty similar builds. We can see it's pretty much matching up in the production tab. Now just differing a little bit with that one drone. But of course, we do see that both these players are pretty even in that drone count. But we're going to have to see what these players decide to do. In that last game, we did see that AcerBly really kind of opting to stay on those, just kind of like staying off the gas for a little bit longer, although that did have a lot to do with the fact that he did go for that 10 pool and really just ended up not being able to do anything with it, was a little bit behind, felt that he maybe should stay off the gas for a little bit to make up for it. But in the meanwhile, TSLHyuN definitely favoring those banelings, and you know, that also might have been a little bit of a reaction saying, huh, my opponent kind of went for an early spawning pool. Maybe I should just go for banelings, you know, hold off against any kind of big aggression because I know I have an economic advantage. And in the end, that kind of allowed him to get up that Roach Warren pretty quick, you know, in a pretty reasonable amount of time, and eventually be able to push with those roaches for the win. So we'll end up seeing whether Hyun decides to favor that same kind of play again, or if he's going to decide to basically go and switch it up. In the meanwhile, we do see a Baneling nest coming down for AcerBly. There it is. So AcerBly going to be sticking with Banelings as he did in the last game. Kind of, it seemed more of a reactionary Baneling nest in the last game, but he's going to be a little bit happy. Maybe he'll be a little bit happy to hear that TSLHyuN also going for that Baneling nest. So the Baneling nest is going to be, where is it? Where is that Baneling nest? It is very well hidden. Oh, there it is, blending in with those minerals. This is the 9th mineral patch for TSLHyuN. Little does he know that he actually can't mine from a Baneling nest. Actually, I really hope he knows, because, you know, as a pro player, you should probably know that you can't mine from your buildings. I mean, until Heart of the Swarm, then you get the Corruptors, and you can kind of mine from your buildings. It's really weird, but hopefully TSLHyuN has not been playing that custom Heart of the Swarm map too much, and he will be aware. But wow, look at these Zerglings. They're going to get a glorious scout off on everything that AcerBly has. So he's going to feel to be in a very comfortable situation. He knows, hey, my opponent has this Baneling nest. He's already thrown down that second gas geyser. You can already see basically everything that's going on. I even saw that there was that spine crawler already thrown up, so that might actually kind of just you know, make him a little bit more wary about attacking, especially with those banelings. But a nice little psych out actually, potentially coming out from AcerBly, throwing down that second gas geyser, but not really doing anything with it. We have to see whether or not he's going to decide to do a bit of a change up in his build. Is getting that lair attack, so it looks like he's just kind of getting these banelings for a bit more of a defensive position. But oh my god, and actually a baneling making its way in to the main of AcerBly and actually exploding on those larvae. You might be thinking, oh, all he did was get those drones to the bread. Well, it also kind of kills the larva actually in one shot, so that actually can affect your build a little bit. Kind of makes it more annoying. It's basically like killing 3 potential drones, even though those minerals were not invested in the drones. Can be very annoying. Now we do see a counter, a little bit of a, not really even a counter attack, just an attack over on the third of AcerBly with these Zerglings. Now it looks like AcerBly going to be trying to do a little bit of defense, but we do see a couple of banelings coming in. That's definitely going to be able to take out all these Zerglings. Going to be definitely forcing that cancel down on AcerBly's expansion. And now we do see these Zerglings trying to be as aggressive as possible. They need to take out that drone if he really wants to delay him, but no. That drone goes ahead and builds an extractor, so he's going to stay alive for a little bit. But now, HyuN being very, very aggressive, running straight into the man, takes out the spine crawl. The banelings actually making their way in and take out a couple of drones. I would think about 4 or 5, and now these Zerglings are going to be going on to the other Zerglings and doing some Zergling on Zergling action. It's very hard to tell who's going to come out on top, but it looks like AcerBly comes out on top with some very low health Zerglings, but still going to be feeling pretty good about that defense, minus that little baneling hit that kind of set him a little bit behind. We can see over here, oh, it looks like, you know, AcerBly is still a little bit ahead in that drone count, as it looks like, wow, that is a huge investment in gas from a HyuN. But now we do see the banelings from Bly kind of morphing in. He might actually be able to catch some of these off guard, but wow! A fabulous hit from AcerBly. Managed to take out so many of those banelings with just 2 of his. So he's definitely going to be trading very efficiently there, and now we see what that lair attack was for. He has the Spyro out, the Mutalisks are going to be coming out in just a second, and that third also going down. Meanwhile, HyuN investing so heavily in that big aggression, especially with those banelings, gonna have a hard time. Did not even get able to get up that third. He does have an evolution chamber up, so we'll be able to throw down a couple of the spore calls, but he has no idea what's going on right now. He does have a huge swarm of roaches out though, so he might just kind of go for the counter attack, force these Mutalisks back. We're gonna end up seeing whether or not that happens, because even though roaches don't do too well against Mutalisks, you have to remember Mutalisks take a very long time to kill off a roach. As you can see over here, 145 health, and Mutalisks don't really do a whole lot of damage. In fact, Mutalisks actually have less health than a roach. Interesting little tidbit. We do see the roaches coming in, the banelings being sacrificed on those roaches, and we see that even though the roaches are doing a good amount of damage, he's going to end up losing all of them. But the one thing that he does have going for him also is that in addition to all the damage he's doing, he's stopping all of these Mutalisks from being able to do any damage and harassment in the main. We can see that in the production tab, there were some spore crawlers building, but now these roaches are finally starting to get cleaned up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the workers kill tab. Wow, actually a lot of workers being killed. We can see it's just kind of going up further and further from these roaches. 17 workers killed at the final kill count. We're going to end up seeing what is the worker count now. We do see AcerBly. He did have that worker advantage, but now dropped down just 3 workers below. But at the same time, we do see that with this Mutalisk count growing, he's going to be able to feel in a very comfortable position. But in the meanwhile, we do see that TSLHyuN is taking this time to heart and really just made sure that he made use of it. Gone ahead and got that Hydralisk done. But you have to remember that third going to be very, very important for AcerBly. It's going to put him into a nice economic and larva advantage. But we do see continuous aggression with these roaches, just running him in, not really caring whether or not they actually do damage. He just cares that they, he does care that they do damage, but just the fact that they are doing a little bit of damage doesn't matter if they're trading super efficiently, as long as they're doing damage, keeping these Mutalisks back and allowing them to build up that now Hydralisk count. Initially it was just for the spore crawlers, but now he has that Hydralisk count building, and once he has a good Hydralisk count, he can actually move across the map and trade pretty gosh darn well against those Mutalisks, even if he doesn't have that third base up. Now we do see a continuous swarm of units, additional roaches, and those Hydralisks now coming out to deal some aggression. We don't see a third at this point, so it looks like HyuN going to be feeling to be in a little bit of a very all-in position in the near future. And now we see the Hydrals moving out across. Now they're going to be able to take out a couple of these Overlords. That's definitely going to supply block Bly. It's going to be a huge hit. But we see a large group of these Mutals. We also see some Banelings coming in. They are going to be very useful against these Hydrals. We're going to see how good is the micro of Hyun. How good is his split on this Hydralis. We do see the Banelings coming in. They are getting some decent hits. And wow, those are the hits that he wants right now. So many of those Hydrals taken out. And even though there are some Hydrals left over, the Mutals are able to clean up Bly, taking the lead in this game. We can see over here still a large number of Mutalists left over. We can see he's still up in that worker count. We can still see he is up in those that base count. And now Hyun is going to be in a very difficult position. And wow, this is another thing that you have to remember. AcerBly wasn't really able to do because of that continuous aggression from Hyun, or just rallying those roaches and those Hydralists in. But now that he finally has some breathing room, he is able to take out all of those Overlords. This is really going to cause a lot of supply block issues for Hyun. We can see is that 75 76 supply really doesn't have any supply to build anything, but maybe a pair of Zerglings or a single drone. He needs to start making those Overlords. It's there, he doesn't have them going. But now he also has to deal with the fact that there is this huge army barreling down his front. And I'm not sure if he's going to be able to defend against this, even with these Spore Callers, even with a couple of those Hydras. He is able to thwart these Mutals from doing a big amount of aggression for now, but it is forcing a good number of units out from Hyun. Meanwhile, we can see over here that in the production tab, AcerBly just kind of go ahead and drone up. We can see he's just now going to be starting to think about getting that drone count up over at his third base. So it's going to put him into a bit of a lead. But oh my god, look at this! 26 drones left over for for TSLHyuN. So it looks like that aggression definitely taking its toll on his drone count. We're gonna have to wait and see. He's definitely on a timer at this point, and now he does have some of those infestors going to be popping in just a second. Does not look like he has the pathogen glands research, I don't think. No, he does not. So it's gonna take even longer for him to be able to put on any kind of big aggression. TSLHyuN looking to be in a terrible position in this game, and AcerBly looking to be in a great position. There he's moving in. He can get some key fungals down, but no, he doesn't have the energy for it. He's just going to be building up energy, but not before the infestors end up getting sniped. One infestor left. He might be able to get one fungal off, but it's just not going to be enough. All of the Spore Callers, or actually just 2 Spore Callers left over, but all the roaches of that queen being taken out. Now the infestor being sniped. Now those Spore Callers being target fired down. These are Mutals expecting to be uncontested in this game. Now we do see a couple additional Spore Callers going down, but still, even if this entire Mutal squad gets taken out, TSLHyuN is going to be so far down in that worker count, so far down in that basically base count. He's just going to be so far behind, and even the corruption being thrown down, that's going to stop any additional larvae from being produced. And wow, even's going to stop the queen from being produced. So very rough position for TSLHyuN. Let's see if he can defend. I don't think he's going to be able to. He's going to need a miracle. And there we see the remaining units of TSLHyuN being taken out. The Zerglings can now take out all of those drones and those Spore Callers. Now the Mule's kind of moving into the main. It looks like he might be actually be able to do some good aggression over here. We're going to have to wait and see what does TSLHyuN have planned at this point. He does have a couple more infestors popping, but still no pathogen glands being researched. So he still can't do throw down those key fungal growths. So we're going to have to wait and see the drones basically being pulled to do on a little bit of aggression. Now we can see, even though that TSLHyuN had a huge drone count, now AcerBly taking the drone count, taking the game also, and bringing the series to 1-1. So now it is going to go to game 3. We're going to have to wait and see who is going to win this best of 3 series. It's tied up. The stakes are high, and we're going to have to wait and see how is TSLHyuN going to respond in game number 3 after losing this game pretty convincingly. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 3 after you go ahead and subscribe to youtube.com/FearDragon64, also twitter.com/FearDragon64, and twitch.tv/FearDragon64. Also send your replays to FearDragon64@gmail.com. But now, let's go into game number 3 and find out who wins this best of 3 series. Is it going to be the Korean TSLHyuN, or will it be the foreigner AcerBly, the Ukrainian player? Let's go ahead and jump into game number 3. I will see you guys there.